Hello folks, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In this video, we will be discussing a current affair topic presented to you by a faculty, Sushma KP. So what is the topic that we will be looking into today? About inner line permit and Territorial Army demand in your Meghalaya. Alright. In this video, we will be looking into what is the background behind such a demand, what are the key demands with respect to your Territorial Army and inner line permit, and we will also see the implications with respect to let's say the institutional trust or your parallel enforcements. Understanding? Now, what is the relevance of it to your UPSC? First and foremost, with respect to GS paper 2, from your governance perspective, we will be seeing role of civil society movements. From GS paper 1 perspective, especially from society paper, we will be seeing the ethnic identity, indigenous rights, your tribal autonomy. At the same point of time, from your GS paper 4 ethics perspective, we will also be looking at rule of law, voluntary enforcement, is it better for the society. From your essay topics, we will also be discussing as to balancing the national security alongside regional autonomy. So, thematics on this idea. Alright. Now, first and foremost, what is the issue in hand? Look at it. In your Shillong, Meghalaya area, the Khasi Students Union have started a protest. That is, how are they protesting? They are doing a sit-in in your Kyundai land. Why? Why are they protesting? First and foremost, if you look at this, this is organized by your Northeastern Students Organization. What are the students protest for? See, first and foremost, the students are demanding that right now at this point of time, there is a lot of tensions in the northeastern regions. What are these tensions? Two aspects they are pointing out. See, now with the eviction from Assam, there is a possibility of people coming and entering to Meghalaya. Understanding? At the same point of time, Bangladesh now is also at its peak of security issues. As in, there is a possible spillover effect from both Bangladesh and Assam to be entering into Meghalaya, which will threaten its resources, its identity, its culture. Understanding? So, we need a strong enforcement is what they are asking. Now, if you ask, what is the strong enforcement that you need? For which Meghalaya Students Union, that is something organized by your Khasi Students Union, have held that they need a people's army to be enforced in Meghalaya. Now, when people are asking, let's say reporters, when they go and ask the students demanding this, what kind of people's army is it that you want? It will be partly from the officer level and partly from the personnel level. Now, when again ask the students union, is this fine? Are you okay with people taking the law in its hands? For which Meghalaya Students Union or your Khasi Students Union have held that Mizoram was given this provision. Mizoram was given an option for Territorial Army. Why not give the same thing to Meghalaya? And this demand of wanting a territorial army to safeguard our borders has not been new. It has been there since, and we have been asking for this demand from 1983. And it is long overdue that the center and state give it. Understanding? Now, when asked, is this the solution? For which the Khasi Students Union have held that we have no other option than to protect our identity, our resources and our people. Understanding? So, this is what your demand has been for. Now, if you see what is the key demands, first thing is we need an inner line permit which will regulate the outsiders, and we have been demanding it from since 1983. We also need a territorial army. On the same lines, if Mizoram could be granted, then why not Meghalaya? Understanding? So, we need a people's army. This we have proposed this people's army since your Pidava incident since 2001. And this has to be managed by the local people. Understanding? Now, what is the reason behind this demand? Again, like mentioned, we have, again Meghalaya has pointed out that we have porous borders, so which means we could have a possible spillover effect from Bangladesh and also from your Assam. This could weaken our border control and illegal migration would take up and affect Meghalaya. Understanding? So for this, the Khasi Students Union have also held that right now, as of right now, we demand that the center and state take a necessary action. Understanding? Up until now, center has shown a lax attitude and state has not had any such authority to be given. There is no legislation to bring force to this. Unless and until they bring forward a legislation or they provide us with our demands of a people's army or territorial army, what we are going to be doing is we are going to be doing it on voluntary basis. When asked what exactly are you going to be doing with voluntary access, that is, we have brought up volunteers who will be assisting and closely working with the BSF Border Security Force, and we will be checking in highways, entry points, border areas for those people who are entering without valid documents. So this is us trying to play the proactive role. This will continue until your center and state comes to a understanding that this is the need of the place. Understanding? And again, in this voluntary, they are working, the voluntary organization that they are forming to make sure, or more like they are trying to find out who is entering, who is exiting, who are with valid documents. They are going to be working with village councils, tribal authorities, community leaders, and they are going to be identifying people without documents and be closely working with your border security police forces. Understanding? So, your Northeast Student Organization has held that this People's Army, or let's say this Territorial Army, is long overdue for Meghalaya, and this is very much needed, and this is the ILP, that is the inner line permit, is the long standing demand of northeastern states, and also we have to curb illegal migration, otherwise this would lead to undesirable effects. This is what your NESO is holding, that is your Northeast Student Organization. When we say Territorial Army, they are claiming that when Mizoram could have one, why not Meghalaya? Understanding? So they are also wanting the Territorial Army or People's Army to protect Meghalaya, right? So what is the expected benefit, or how would it matter? See, everything, if you say a stable inclusive peace has to be reached for any particular place, then it should have stable security forces, security concerns, autonomy and security. All three mixed together is the only way for a stable inclusive peace which will have to prevail, and that is the need of the hour in Meghalaya, is what your Khasi Students Union is demanding for. Understanding? If this issue is not, let's say, whatever the demand that the Khasi Student Union, when they are asking this demand, there is also considerable things that both center and state have to look into. Now this cannot be a force or coercion on anyone's side, but both have to look into the reasons why they are demanding for this. Otherwise this would also lead to a corroding of institutional trust from the people's side, and the growth of parallel understanding institutions or parallel roles would again interfere in the working of the state. So both have to come together, look in eye to eye and address the genuine concerns that are put forward. Only then a stable solution can be reached. With this, we have come to the end of the content. If you like our content, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, share it along with your friends. Thank you.